give you a background to the question. This week parasha, name of this week parasha, Parashat Korach. Who was Korach? Korach was a Levi. Am Israel has 3 stages: Kohen, Levi, and Israel. Who's better, by the way? No one, right? Very important to know. Because even though we have different stages, doesn't think anybody is better than the other one. Correct? So a Jew cannot be better than another Jew. Any Jew think is better than another Jew is less. Because by default, there is no such a word being better. So he was a Levi. Famous Moshe Rabbeinu Moses was the leader of Am Israel. Every tribe in Am Israel had a president of the tribe. So as you know, today it's coming, and back then it used to be common. Who do you take to work for you if you're in the government? Family members. So Moshe appointed Aharon, his brother, to be the president of the tribe of the Shevet of Levi. Comes Aharon and he said, "Excuse me, it's not fair, it's not right. Why would you pick your brother to be the president of the tribe? Based on the family order, the next one to be voted was supposed to be Korach, because he was the son of Yitzhak, the second in the family, without getting into it. So Korach said, I'm the one who's supposed to be voted to be the president of Am Israel. So he went against Moshe Rabbeinu. He's telling Moshe, I'm sorry, you're wrong. You take control over Am Israel. And we know that Moshe didn't do anything on his own. Moshe's motivation was whatever Hashem told him to appoint, he did appoint. But Korach decided that something wrong is going on, and I think everybody can relate to him. When you see a leader of Am Israel appointing family members, very clear he's biased and putting his brother on a high-level position when he doesn't deserve it. The Gemara brings an interesting background to the story. Says the Gemara that Korach was a Levi. In order to be Levi, what is the job of the Levi? He's supposed to, today, wash hands of the Kohanim in the Bet HaKnesset, the Levi. But the job both in Bet HaMikdash, they were the customer service of the Kohanim, which means they used to be the security guard over Bet HaMikdash, over our temple. They were as well the singers. Leviim supposed to have good voice. That's why Temanim are Leviim, nachon? Because Temanim in general, Yamanite have good voice. Rabbi Ariel everybody they have good voices. Because the Temanim are Leviim. Levanim were the singers in Beit HaMikdash. לא, majority, לא, אי אפשר. זה עולה כסף. Majority are Leviim. So majority of the Kohanim became Leviim, and majority, many Leviim are in Kohanim. So there was a special process in order to become a Levi. They had to go through a special cleaning system, let's call it this way. So they had to shave their hair, head to toe, everything on their body completely. And Aharon HaKohen it's called Tnufa, a special pickup on the Leviim. Yet each Levi, Aaron was like, a little bit bigger than me, wider and stronger, hopefully. So every Levi picked them up and down, forward and backward. So can you imagine what's your feeling? You bald, you have no hair nowhere, and somebody picking you up like a chicken, like a paro, zot kaparati, zot khalifati, picking up Aaron, picking up every member of the tribe of Levi. You pick him up, back and forth. So after the ceremony was over, the Leviim were officially appointed to be the Leviim. Korach goes back home. And his wife looking at him, You see a bald guy in front of her. Bald people, you never know what. Was a father who gave a special, before he died, he gave special commandment to his kids. He said, never start up with 2 people. A gingy, very good, and a bald. Why, you know what gingy? Red hair, very dangerous. You never know. Red hair. You don't want to mess up with the red hair. Whatever.
Thank you very much.
I'm not going to mess up. No, we still love you, but it's okay. So, you don't want to mess up with the red hair. So he said, Abba, okay, we understand why red hair we shouldn't mess up with, but why with a bald guy? Why not? He said, maybe it was gingy. You know? So you can't take a chance. So he was maybe Korach was gingy, but he was over, you know, he was bald. So his wife looking at him, and this is literally the words of the Gemara. She told him, Korach, I want you to tell you something. You look like a pumpkin. You know, pumpkin, fully bald shaved. That's why I think he was gingy, by the way. Because, you know, pumpkin is a little bit reddish color. So, you look like a pumpkin. What's wrong with you? He said, honey, you know, we went through the process. We became Leviim. And she said, with all the respect, just go to the mirror, okay? Look at yourself and then we'll talk after. So she felt bad for Korach, the way he was treated. Korach right after said, you know what guys, I'm going against Moshe Rabbeinu. He's doing the wrong thing. He's taking control over Am Yisrael. It's all about him. Let's go against Moshe Rabbeinu. In order to go against somebody, you need support from one person. Who is the person that you need support the most? No.
Your wife.
Huh? Your wife.
Yeah.
If your wife, you know, usually your wife, okay, forget it, you know. You're not married already, right? Okay, whatever. But, sorry about it. I initiated a wedding last Sunday. There was a beautiful wedding. That's what, based on the guy. So a guy came over to me, Yaniv Amsalem. So he came over to me, he said, Rabbi, what a beautiful wedding. I told my wife, I want to remarry again. I'm like, don't repeat your mistake twice. You can do what you want. Have a setter, it's enough. So, you need support from your wife. Noah's wife was fully behind it. Korach's wife was fully behind him. She supported him. She was behind him. They putting, signs all over the camp. She was with him, helping him. She was full supporting. You made it. You want to go against Moshe Rabbeinu? I'm here with you. I will support you. I will do everything for you. That was Korach. Korach had a neighbor. The name of the neighbor was On. On ben Pelet. On was the neighbor of Korach. So usually, with neighbor you have close relationship. Korach went over to his neighbor and he said, by the way, On, this is what's going on in Am Yisrael. We can't let it happen. We're supposed to stop it and we're supposed to go and get Moshe Rabbeinu. On told Korach, you know what, I didn't think about it. You're right. We shouldn't go against Moshe Rabbeinu takes everything. Let's go against him. I'm with you, full force. They got with them many rabbis in Am Yisrael, and they're all going one group against Moshe Rabbeinu. Something is wrong, Moshe, you're doing the wrong stuff. They made a special date. The next day, everybody going to stand, all of them in front of Moshe and Aaron, and they will do a debate, a contest, whether Hashem appreciates Moshe or doesn't appreciate Moshe. Meaning, is Hashem happy with the way Moshe conducts himself or not? On came back home on the night before. Honey, that's it. We're going to show Moshe Rabbeinu that's no more. She turned over to him, On, everything okay? What do you want? What's the point? Either Moshe Rabbeinu is the president or Korach. Would you be the president, On? Actually not. I'm not going to be the president. So if you're not going to be the president, what do you care whether Moshe or Korach? Get yourself out of trouble. Wow, what's wrong with you? Tell her, honey, I hear you. However, I gave my word. Back then, when you gave your word, you gotta stay behind you, even today. But giving a word, I gave my word. I'm going with my friend. What can I do? The Gemara says in Masechet Baba Batra, you're not allowed to give a good advice to a goy to give tzedakah, etc. We were building our show machine, and I had contractors. So any Israeli contractor, Jewish, I tell him, come on, you have to donate. It's a synagogue. Give a better price. But when it was not Jewish, I didn't encourage him to give donation. Because we're not supposed to encourage goyim to give good donation to shuls. We keep, what? Why? Because it's a privilege to give. And this privilege, we have to keep it in the family. We're not supposed to let goyim. So the Gemara asked, was a Herdus, was a guy who built Beit HaMikdash. And Baba was the name of the guy who gave him, if the rabbi who gave him advice to build Beit HaMikdash. So So the Gemara asks, how can you give him such an advice to build Beit HaMikdash? And you have a problem. When you knock down something, for example, you know Chabad in Aventura? So Chabad in Aventura, they have beautiful, gorgeous building, but it's not on Biscayne, it's in a little bit inside. So the story was that they used to be on Biscayne. When they bought that land, I think it was 1995, Biscayne was a cheap place. So they bought building, they built the building and the land behind. Then property value went up. And somebody approached, he said, let's go, sell me the front, and I'll build you beautiful building on the back. They said, no problem, but the halakha is you don't destroy shul before you build the new one. So they kept it, they built the new shul, after they moved in, then they knocked down the front, and today you have a huge building in the front. So you don't knock down the building before you have the new building ready. So how come you're allowed to knock Beit HaMikdash in order to build it? The Gemara says, when a king says something, it's a stone. If he said, I will uproot a mount, he will uproot a mount. The word of the king is the most powerful word ever. Unfortunately today, signing a contract between countries, it's a beginning of negotiation. Nobody stands behind contract, behind words. And we are in a messed up world, but we are kings. Jews are, B'nai Melachim, we are kings. When we give a word, we're going to stand behind the word. Didn't work out, didn't work, but sorry, you gave your word. On turned over to his wife. He said, honey, I hear you, but I'm sorry. I gave my word, I'm going with my friends tomorrow to the event. She says, okay, this is what you want, what can I do? On that night, she made good food. She made him drink a lot of wine, arak, tequila, good some good drinks. And On went to sleep. She kept everything dark, no noise in the house, and On is sleeping and sleeping. In the morning, the rabbis who went against Moshe, Korach and his group, where is On? He's not here. They sent two rabbis to get him from his house. His wife was standing outside, not dressing appropriately. So a rabbi cannot go forward when the lady is not dressing appropriately. And they didn't go to pick up On. So On stayed home and they went over there. And the conclusion of the story was that Korach and his family were swallowed in the ground, and all of the group that were with them, they burnt out. Whatever the explanation here, hopefully maybe Rabbi Gil can give you next week a pshat, but a lot of understanding what was the dynamic, but that's not our topic tonight. So this is the background of the two stories. If I ask you, who would you like to choose as a wife? On's wife or Korach's wife?
On.
I can tell you singles, guys. You want him to support you. You want him to go against you? He's coming back home.
You also want a wife that's smarter than you that can help you see a different picture.
So how do you define that? That's a good question. Huh? לא את זה ולא את זה. מה לי אומר?
שב בבית, תמשיך עם הכלים
You want a drink for her? On wife? That's a good thing, yeah. So King Salman, Shlomo HaMelech said the following pasuk: Chochmat nashim banta beta. Wisdom of a woman build her house. Ve'ivelet, and a foolish woman, biyada teharsena, will destroy her house with her hands. So Shlomo HaMelech said, a wise woman, the wisdom of a woman, build her house. What's a wisdom woman? He said, the wife of On. But Ivelet, a foolish woman, the wife of Korach, Beyadat Teharsena, she destroyed her house with her hands. So very clear, like most of you are thinking, that Korach's wife was the bad one, versus On's wife was the good one. But the question still arises, by the end of the day, you want your wife to support you or to go against you? And vice versa. Do you want your husband to support you or to go against you? So I want to share with you first answer. We are going to have three answers tonight. one with the main one by the Rosh Yeshiva. And he gave an unbelievable answer. We all think we're supporting each other. I'm extending it to friendship, to any type of relationship. Thank you so much. Husband and wife, vice versa. We all think we are supporting each other. We all think we love each other. We are there for each other. If you think about it very deep, we never for each other. I'll tell you why. A definition being there for somebody else, it is not when it's aligned with your mission. Being there for your friend, being there for your spouse, is when they are not aligned with your mission. They do something else that you want them to do. They don't behave the way you want them to behave. You're still there behind them to support them. That's a definition of support. I will say it on different words. Let's put it in relationship. Often spouse support the wife or the person that they want them to be. That's not a true support. You need to support your spouse for the persons that they want to be. Korach's wife supported him for the person she wanted him to be. She approached him, you look like a pumpkin. What's wrong with you? I want you to do something with yourself. It's all about her. It's not about Korach. So as much as she gave support, she never supported Korach. She supported her own mission. She supported herself. On's wife, she supported him for the person that he wants to be. She did a questionnaire to him. You're not going to be the president, either Moshe or Korach. Why would you go? What did he say? You're right, but I gave my word. So you don't want to go, you're stuck because of your word, correct? I'll support you for what you want to do. I'll make sure that you're not going to break your word. However, I'll support you not to go to the event because you don't wish to go yourself. When we supporting each other for the person that we want them to be, you never support. It's very common among parents, classic example. The child become more religious or less religious. Do you support him? If it's about you, if he's not like me, I have a hard time to support. If it's about your child, you support him whatever direction he takes. Because a true support must be given by the wishes of a friend, of any recipient of our relationship. And in close relationship between friends, why partnerships eventually breaks? The guy sat with me last night, Rabbi, should I take a partner or not? Every partnership eventually breaks. That's proven. Anybody know partnership will stay for 100 years? There is no such an animal.
Ben and Jerry's.
Every... Huh? That's a good one. That's a good one. You know why? Because one person controls it. There is no way to keep relationship when two people controlling. There is no way in the world. Where is the breaking line between relationships? When partnership gonna break? As soon as we are not aligned on the same mission. So if it's a partnership, it makes sense. Okay, we don't have same perspective. We have to break the relationship. A house, building a home, a Jewish home, it's an institution that you have one-way obligation. I need to make sure the institution will go forward, will be built and will grow. It's not about being aligned on the same goals, same targets. It's all about me supporting my spouse on every area and direction they want to do in life. A couple asked me a few months ago, a big fight. Funny, but it is. She wants to have good food. He wants healthy food. Usually it's the opposite, by the way, no? But in this case, he's that. Okay, so he wants schnitzel, she makes for him salad. He wants hot dogs, she makes for him cucumbers. You know, two different worlds. What can you do? So I said, Rabbi, what should I do? Who's right? Who's wrong? They came to me as a rabbi to have a halacha. Healthy or not healthy? They misunderstood their place in the relationship. It should be exactly the opposite. Honey, you want healthy? I'll honor you. She should approach to him, I'm here to support your wishes. You want to have, the opposite, she wants the good food, no problem. You want healthy food, I'll do it for you. But I'm not telling you, you demand your spouse to do, it's our approach. I do want to give you a side point. Any argument between, in any relationship, any arguments needs to be addressed need to be measured, or the other word is judged, by a normal behavior. We'll talk about it later more. But normally, what's normal? People eating regular food, right? You want to be healthy more than the usual? It's your problem. You gotta run your house, you gotta be normal. You can't force your spouse to do things because you heard a speech, carnal diet, only meat all day. Okay, now she has to feel meat, your wife needs to make for you meat all day. She wants to eat pasta, what do you want? Meaning, any relationship, you gotta be normal on your expectations. Any demand that are not normal, you have a problem. That's an example. I had a couple ask me about vaccines. One want the kids to be vaccinated, and the other one didn't want. Think about the regular one for kids. What's the answer? What's the normal way today? Unfortunately, everybody vaccinated. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, okay? So you don't want something, you gotta let it go, because you gotta go by the normal way. You gotta keep the relationship normal. The fact something went off on you, you might be right when you're concerned, but there is normality that must be maintained. So going back to principle number one. Principle number one in relationship, I'm here for my beloved. I'm here for my spouse, even if it's not fully aligned. The guy I saw once, 20 years ago, Rabbi Ariel Edry was here. And he was asking, he said, Arav, can you give bracha so my wife is not going to smoke on Shabbat? I asked what? No, I didn't. But why not smoking on, you want bracha not smoking on Shabbat? Leave her alone. If you will leave her alone smoking on Shabbat, and you're not going to push for her, your mission, you don't want to smoke on Shabbat. By the way, I'm a rabbi, I have no interest for women to smoke on Shabbat. I'm just presenting you the healthy approach of the Torah. If your wife smokes on Shabbat, leave her alone. Let her do what she needs to do. You're not there for her your way and to convince her and to make sure she gets brachot, she's not going to smoke anymore on Shabbat. Wrong. A true supported, I'm supporting you for the person that you are, that you want to be, and I'm fine with it, I'm there for you. By the way, if we do that, we resolve many, many issues in relationship. 99% of divorce, it's because of control. My way, or his, her way, or highway.
Where do you draw the line between someone doing what they want to do for themselves and then being off the derech, where you need to step in? And
so again, if you're talking about this is normality, if anybody behave not normal, smoking cigarette, okay. If they go further, we had a Shabbaton last Shabbat to Orlando. We took out a bunch of kids, and one of the counselors came over to me. He said, Rabbi, I see 3 guys went to the side, and they probably smoking. I'm like, how do you know? He said, I see it. So unfortunately, I have no experience. So I don't know how to see these moves that he means they're going to smoke. But they said, Rabbi, yes. So I said, guys, if anybody intend to smoke on the trip, I'm canceling the trip now. So uncomfortable, they had to search the bag, and they found mishloach manot, too much. So I had to avoid to tell those guys they couldn't come with us on the trip. So I know the boys, and I was worried they're going to be in the street now for 3 days, not telling the parents, because you don't want them to know you got kicked out of the trip because of what they brought. So I told one of the rabbis, call the mom of so and so, and let her know that he's not coming on the trip. He called her, and she said, I'm okay with my son to smoke. Talking about, no, not cigarette. Unbelievable. And mom, okay with her son, 16 years old, to smoke.
Wow.
So you can't help it, Unfortunately, okay, sorry, just taking yourself to a trip, she's okay. What?
It's already on a trip.
That was a long trip, yeah. So there is a normality among people. If, I'm sorry to say, but if smoking grass becomes normal, you can give hard time to your child. But if it's not normal, you gotta draw a line. But any direction it takes within the normality, but that's not what, it's not your dream, that's where you need to support it. I know my dentist, he told me that his partner commits suicide. Why? So by the way, the highest rate of suicide among doctors is with dentists. Dentists, a guy is in the mouth of somebody 8 hours a day, maybe I would do the same, it's not the best experience in life okay, that's the highest rate of suicide. But he told me his mom wanted to be a dentist because her father was a dentist. So he became a dentist and everything, but he never wanted to be that. The American is afraid, my son the lawyer, my son the doctor. He doesn't want to be a lawyer. He wants to be a car dealer, Sorry about it, but he's an Israeli. He doesn't want to do this stuff. He didn't want to. How many times parents pushing their kids, already, you go to college, and you go for 2 years, and then you drop out, and then what? Because they push what they want you to do, not let you what you want to do. A parent supporting each other for the person that they want to be. A person that you love, you appreciate, let them be supportive for what they want to be.
Isn't it a law, like if you see someone do something wrong, you gotta say something?
So you gotta say only when you can help. Most of the time, when people doing wrong stuff, by saying it doesn't help. By being there silent and giving them the message, whatever you do, I'm here for you. No matter what, that's what giving the right message. I'll share with you an interesting story. A rabbi of mine is in New York, is working with boys who are, it's called in English OTD. OTD stands for the words of the derech. Meaning they're not in the main derech way of Torah, and sometimes too off. So, and can you imagine a religious father, mother in New York, Brooklyn, Lakewood, and their son suddenly off, no kippah, t-shirts, for them like it's sometimes tattoos. Walking to their house, they're yeshiva guys, everybody around the neighborhood, and you see this, to them it looks like a clown walking into the house. What a tragedy it is for parents. And they need a lot of guidance. And the most important part of the guidance, accept him where he is now. Don't try to change him, don't try to hold him. He said to us an unbelievable story. A kid, one of those boys, was doing pituma ketoret a lot, a lot of smoking to the high level. And he stayed in the house in Shabbat. He said he took their cholent, the cholent, he put cocaine in the cholent. They had very happy Shabbat, Baruch Hashem, morning Shabbat. He said, none of the family member went to Mincha in Arvit on that evening. It was really a disaster event. Next morning, they all getting headache. They didn't know what happened. They didn't know what he put in the cholent. He did for them, chinam, for free. They enjoy it. On Shabbat. So it took them a few days to realize until he admitted, I put something, people are not used to it. You can imagine. This boy, they let him stay in the house. After that incident, this boy today is fully religious, beautiful home, kids, observing, doing everything. But look what he did! There is certain transition that people need to go through. You're not supposed to give them a hard time. And in general, religion should not be a statement in any relationship. You can't tell your spouse, your girlfriend, to anybody, by the way, I want you to know, you gotta keep more Shabbat, you gotta be more tzanua, you can't, religion can be imposed and be criticized and said to anybody, even children. I never told my son in my life to learn Torah, I never told to come to tefillah, nothing. I'm a father to support my children, to give them the basics, warmth, love, food, Amazon, whatever, I'm there for them. But religion is not something that I'm pushing. Cannot be pushed. A father cannot tell a child, come with me to shul. I know for many years it's a surprise. But you can't tell, you gotta make a decision. When I grew up, going to shul was a special privilege. in our shul, you couldn't move, It was an old Iraqi shul that you sit on carpets on the bench, and it's sticking and itching, and you can't move. If you move, they screaming at you. Then you're going back home. You can't have you can't play in shul. Today we have kids program, special activities for kids. There was no kids program. The program was a seat. That's it. Seat program. You sit. You don't sit. You go home. And we were never told to go to shul, and we made a decision to go to shul. Because religion and anything cannot be pushed among each other. By the way, proper behavior should be educated at home, but not the religion part of it. For example, I don't appreciate going to Aventura Mall. My daughter wants to go there. I'm not going to tell my daughter, no, it's not appropriate, we are religious. Going to Aventura Mall, you see everybody the way they dress over there. That's not her problem that I'm religious. Even though she's my daughter, she's stuck with me, but it's not her problem. I need to explain to her, I have an issue myself going to Aventura Mall. Let's work it out, whatever it's going to work out. But you cannot push your religion into anybody. And you cannot criticize today in our generation, you cannot criticize anybody when it's related to religion. Nothing. We just need to live our life, and if anybody wants to join us, to be part of it, then they will be part. If you will appreciate your own Judaism, your own life, any partner of you would want to be part of it. But if you are annoying and always say comments, who wants to be part of something annoying? Nobody wants to do it. That's why you got to keep it completely off, free and clear, never criticism. I had once in Shorashim, was a Moroccan guy in Shorashim. We have younger guys, and it was an older Moroccan guy was praying. And our boys, when they pray, we don't have any clothing policy. So you can't be naked, be chazan, but yet, as soon as you cover basic, we let anybody pray to be chazan. A guy came over very upset. He said, you're supposed to look appropriate. I told him, I understand. But you have to understand that when you go on a trip, on middle of nowhere, how do you pray mincha? Shirt, whatever it is, flip-flop, it's fine, no? We are on a trip. In our world, it's a trip. Nobody is settled. Nobody has his own place. The only place we have is our cell phone, right? And that changes screens every second, right? So we have no place in life. We all live in a mode, in a society of not stability. When people are not stable, you cannot criticize them. You cannot say anything. All of the Gemarot are supposed to say the Torah, you got to criticize your friend when you are in a healthy, proper environment, which we are not now. So therefore, nothing can be criticized, it's just the opposite. We are supporting each other for the people who they want to be. This is principle number 1. Second principle I was thinking. The first principle is by Rabbi's wife, by Rosh Hashiva. Second principle I was thinking, very interesting, classic approach. Everybody have fights in relationship, whenever I see a new, when yeshiva guys are getting married, they didn't get a chance to fight with the girl because you don't live together, you don't touch each other. It takes time to fight. So I'm always telling a new couple that's getting married, by the way, I want you to enjoy your fights. Why do you enjoy a fight? You're not supposed to fight. I'm like, you must fight, but you have to enjoy it. How do you enjoy a fight? What's the proper way to fight? The pasuk that King Solomon used is very, very interesting. Let's pay attention. Chochmat nashim banta beta. A wisdom of a woman build her house. Ve'ivelet, and a foolish beyada. What's beyada means? With her hands, tehalsena will destroy it. So you see that Shlomo Melech give you 2 ways to process information. One is called wisdom, chokhmah. The other one called biyadayim, by hands. How do you process information by hands? Moroccan way, that's how you process it. Before I got married, an old Moroccan guy told me, by the way, this is how you educate your wife, but this is abuse, But how do you educate? How do you educate? So biyada, by the way, it seems like an immediate reaction. Bayad, when you, please don't try it. I see everybody enjoy it, but please. So, how do you process it at home? What's the practice? Biyada, by hands, there is a form of a way of response, an immediate response. If I might say, you go to Sephardi synagogue, huh? Have you been in a Sephardi synagogue?
Yeah.
So you see here and there somebody in the middle get angry and they're screaming on each other and big balagan. Moroccan synagogue, you have a lot of emotions, a lot of sounds. You know, people express themselves. Unfortunately, Sephardim, people who are Sephardi, more intent to respond by hands, but I don't mean hands. I mean by an immediate reaction. That's a definition of hands. If you go to Ashkenazim, whatever you do, they don't care. You know, you walk into Ashkenazi shul, you can go 6 months in and out, nobody will say Shalom Aleichem to you. You don't bother me, I'm not going to bother you. Very clear. We go to Ashkenazi shul, we have shul Young Israel, 40 years, the same shul, they didn't change anything. You go to Maple Ridge synagogue, I'm here for 10 years in Hollywood, 7 times full renovation. Each one, floors, top, changes, lower it. We unfortunately, Sephardi people, and we need to know our problem, and I'm serious about it, we intend to react more by hands. Not physically, but emotionally, verbally, we react immediately. When you react to what you see, you always get it foolish, you will get it wrong. When Korach's wife, how did she react to him when she saw him? You look like a pumpkin. That was an immediate reaction to Korach's appearance. And that immediate reaction drew him to make a move, to make a change. That's considered as being foolish. On's wife, it says chokhmah. Chachamim says, chacham enav berosho. A wise guy sees far in the United States and everywhere in the world. How do you compensate a worker? Money. But how much are you going to give him? What's a formula to a higher salary?
Experience.
Almost. Experience will give you.
Position. Performance.
Huh?
Position.
Position is a formula. Give me a formula. How do you compensate? Who is get the highest salary? Huh?
Responsibility. Duties and responsibility.
No, that's anyway. That's not the formula. I need a formula.
The one who brings the most money in.
No, not necessarily.
The formula is being born to 2 Jewish parents.
There is a better formula. Listen to Omar, a very smart guy told me the following. He said, the farther the worker can see, the more he get compensated. The cleaning guy, what does he see? Here, in the airport I saw was unbelievable. You see a cleaning lady, and her supervisor next to her. Clean here. I mean, I think you see? But the smaller the vision is, the less you get paid. Why do labor people get paid the lowest amount? They're working the hardest because they see very short. The engineer on the job sees the end of it. He sees far. He's getting compensated the most. A bank manager needs to see what's going to be in the next few years. He's getting that salary. The region manager getting it higher, got to see further. The treasurer of the United States, he needs to see 100 years forward. He gets paid the highest. The further you see, the more valuable you are. That's called wisdom. Wisdom is to be able to analyze and to see forward. What did the wife of On do to him? Did she make a decision for him? She went through the process. Let's see, what's going to be by the end of the day? Let's go through the process. You're going to have fights. Everything will be over. There are 2 choices. Either Moshe being the president or you, Korach. So when you walk through the process, you see far, you see the result. When she presented the result in front of On, what did On say? You're right. That's a different way. If you want to make a change into somebody, do not give your opinion. Walk them through the process. So many issues we have that people responding right away. If people will hold their tongue for 5 minutes in relationship, you save so many issues. Because most of the shalom bait or the difficult time we have between each other, a wrong sentence came out of the mouth. If you wait 5 minutes, you become a different person. After 5 minutes, you're not responding by hands. It's not an immediate response. It's a calculate, okay, what's going to be in the hand? When you need to have 5 minutes before you respond, you will walk through the process of that 5 minutes and you will understand, okay, what's going to be the result of such a response. Then you're going to be careful. I have a rule, whenever I'm getting a message or anything that really annoying me, I'm giving it 4 hours. After 4 hours, you can respond. And if I feel still it's annoying, another 4 hours. That's very annoying to push it off. But all of the issues that we have, we're responding immediately. That's foolish. That's by yadayim, that's by hands. You're attacking who? Yourself. When you respond right away. But when you have one's wife, go through the process, you save so many issues. You save so many problems in life. So the second principle is, go through the process before you respond. When you have an immediate response, that's a foolish woman. She can support him everything, but it's an immediate response. That's not a support. The true definition of support is when you go through the process, you see a full picture and you make a decision. Last answer. I was discussing with guys today that in I think LA, Los Angeles, all those areas, they have a law. Who's from LA over here? Somebody just moved from LA. Somebody moved from LA over here? Okay. You have a rule. They have up to $1,000. $950? Okay. Up to $950. If you steal, they can't call a police on you. They can't call a police. So you walk in, you do shopping. $9.49. You go $9.49. You go outside. Everything is over. So many grocery stores being closed down on bad neighborhoods because if everybody does whatever they want, you have no food, you don't make money. He told me that some of the stores, they find all of the prices are $1,000 and $150.
With a coupon at the front.
Yeah, if you have a coupon at the front to get a discount. So then everything is about $1,000. When you take it, you think it's $1,000 item, you can get the guy back. But I was thinking to myself, what's wrong with people? How do you make such a law that people can steal up to, back then people used to steal, they used to sneak. He said now they go mamash lekatchila. They walk in, netilat yadayim without bracha, fill up everything, they go, they leave, yalla nigmar. What's going on? What a world! What's going on with us? It's unbelievable. What is the definition of morality? They think you're supposed to help people. That's a moral way of doing it. It's unbelievable. How do you define morality properly? There is another small change between On's wife to Korach's wife. It says Chochmat Nashim. What's Nashim in Hebrew? Woman plural. On Korach's wife is referred to her by Veivelet Beyada Te'arsena, on a singular. When you make a decision in life, you're supposed to associate yourself and talk with the normal people around you. A wisdom defined by plural people. When your decision is something that can be thought through other people, you make proper decision. But if it's an individual decision you're making on your own, you're in a high risk. I had today a conversation with a guy. We had an argument, a professional argument, not emotional argument. But I thought I deserved A, and he thought I deserved something else. So I went over to Moshe, my manager, and I presented him the two opinions. I was trying to be as much as possible fair. And he told me, by the way, your opinion, I'm not so sure about it. I do relate to the other guy's opinion as well. And I thought I'm right, You always think we're right. In every divorce, who is the person that is right? Huh?
Both.
Well,
They're both
But
wrong.
usually people are That's the second. The first one is they want that you know. When you know somebody, he's right. I never heard somebody, my sister got divorced. She was such a bad woman. No, he was a schmuck. This guy was. That's what you hear. You don't hear that he was a good guy. She's the problem. We always the people we know, they are the one who's right. The only way to make a proper decision, you got to make a plural, an outside of the box decision. Let's go back to what we spoke in relationship. One spouse want to do something, the other one doesn't want to do it. You got to go in normal and regular behavior. That's why you always go in a relationship to have a third person to ask. A rabbi usually better, but he's less available. But even a friend, don't choose mother-in-law. That's dangerous, But you gotta choose people who are not biasing to you and can be a third person that both of you trust. It's crucial because many times in relationship we have two ways. But the healthy approach is what's the common behavior? What would everybody else do? Let's do in a normal way, on a healthy way. If one wants to push one direction because he wants, but chokhmat nashim, you gotta see a plural among lady, among everybody around to make the right decision. So we have 3 principles to walk out with. Number 1, support your friend, support your spouse for the person that he or she wants to be, not what you want them to be. And Bezat Hashem, you're going to do it with your children later in life, for they want to be, not what you want to be, which is the hardest thing to do ever. Second, we said Chokhmat Nashim, Banta Beta. Chokhmah, it's a wisdom. See the end result before you make a decision. Never respond immediately. One of the biggest gifts you can give in relationship, the highest gift. Very interesting idea. It says, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, parasha, that Moshe Rabbeinu, Am Israel had a lot of problems, dealing with Jews, it's not easy. And as the leader of them, Moshe Rabbeinu told Am Israel, told Hashem, did I give birth to this nation? Did I conceive them? That you're requesting me to lead them as a parent leading his child. So Moshe Rabbeinu telling Hashem, Ribono shel olam, I didn't give birth to this nation. I didn't conceive. Why do you want me to lead them as if I'm their parent? So Rashi says, where did Hashem told Moshe, treat him as a parent? Says Rashi earlier on Parashat Shmot, about 20 weeks ago, when Hashem told first time Moshe, go to Bnei Israel. So the pasuk that Rashi used is it says, Moshe, go to Bnei Israel. Over there Rashi explained, with the condition that they will stone you and curse you. Which means the Torah definition of parent is that they will stone you and curse you and you shut up. In other words, and everybody will have a hard time relating to it, but that's the Torah's core healthy approach. What a classic parent does when a child talks to them without respect. Shut up, I'm the father. Who the heck are you? Whatever. Anyone who spoke out by a child, everybody giving back. Don't talk like that. I don't want my son to talk to me like that. The Torah's definition is, if your son, your daughter, talks to you without respect, what do? Nothing. Why? Everything we do for our children, it's for what? For us, not for them. Why people giving birth? Because they want to have a child. Why you dress up your child? You can't put picture on Facebook without the proper dress, no? You go out to the street, they need to have dress. You're giving them good education, why? Because you don't want your son child to be a loser. You want it to good education. Everything we do for our children, it's for ourselves. And children knows that. What?
Not always. If let's say that you are Mossad agent and is your child, you know that is your child, you're going to keep everything from him, even if you don't know that you're
No, but still, why you give it to your child? Because it's yours. By the end of the day, because of you.
Nobody.
But it's for you. That's what by the end of the day, it's for you.
You know.
Everything you do for your child, it's for you. But when he's talking, speaking out to you, and you shut up, you show him that it's not about you. You're showing him that it's about them. Same thing by relationship. Husband tell honey, I got you a new house. No, she live alone, she live with you, what do you want? I got you a new kitchen, because she's cooking food for you. I got you a new car, because you can have your wife driving an old building by Pontiac. You want her to look normal. Everything you do for your wife, and vice versa, you do for your husband, it's for you. But when he's talking something not nice to you, and you shut up, it's for him, it's for her. That's the highest contribution you can ever give to your beloved fellow. They say something, and you stay silent. You hold, you bite your tongue. It's so hard, you have no idea. And you do it actually, but it's hard. But the joy of shutting up, you feel the strongest person in the universe. You feel so much in control, and your spouse will hear it and will appreciate it. Because they know, one of my students told me, said, Rabbi, he said a few years ago in a class, he said, Rabbi, my wife told me something, and I was about to give it to her, shoot, and I'm gonna get it done. And I shut up. He said, Rabbi, I never felt so good in a relationship like that. This is the only time you can really give in a relationship. Because 99% of what we do, it's for us. You give your wife flowers, Lama, once you smile, you don't want to get in trouble, But either way, I was in a flower store. There was a big sign on the wall, and it was different size of roses, 1 dozen. So 1 dozen was 20, 2, 40, and it went up. And the sign on top says, how mad is she? And then you buy a curtain. So that's why do you buy flower? You don't want to get into one of those issues, right? So everything we do, it's really for us. But when for each other, when you shut up, when you bite your tongue, when you hold yourself, you contribute on the highest level. And our job to take forward is to learn how to shut up. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.